Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charleston, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic, and basic entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And boy, oh boy, we got an episode for you guys here today. So make sure you go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Now, listen, at this point, you're not breaking any news by saying that the Lakers are having a terrible season. This is something we're all fully aware of. And at this point, people are looking for some new information, right? Because we all understand that this thing is a total disaster, and it's not. You're not saying anything profound by saying, "Oh, the Lakers have a terrible season." Yes, we know that. It has been a failure on all levels. Literally, it has been. This is one of the most, I would say, probably one of the most all-time disappointing rosters that have ever been assembled in NBA history. No one would have believed 8 months ago if you told them that the Lakers roster would have 4 top 75 players. 3 of those players who are still in their prime, for sure Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis, and LeBron is still somehow in the twilight of his prime. He's still there. He's still putting up, I think he scored 250-point games in the last 2 weeks or so, right? So LeBron is still putting up numbers. No one would have thought that with these type of players, the Lakers would be struggling to get into the play-in tournament when, going into this season, they were pegged as the favorite to come out of the Western Conference. I don't think anyone saw that come. Some people thought this team was going to be bad, sure, right? I had my questions about this team, but I did not know it would be this bad. I don't think anyone saw that one, coming. You would have never believed that a team on most nights that had 2 top 75 players, because the Lakers on most nights have at least 2. Usually, it's LeBron James and Russell Westbrook. No one would have believed that a team like this would be struggling to stay competitive against bad NBA teams. But that's the reality. This is the reality that we find ourselves in. And today, while doing some research before we actually got into this video, I stumbled upon a statistic that totally floored me. Literally, when I saw this stat, I said to myself, how is this even possible? Let me share it with you. I want you guys to listen to this. The last game that the Lakers played before the All-Star break was on February 17th against the Utah Jazz, and I think they won that game. I believe it was by 2 or 4 points. LeBron had a sensational game, and I think that was the game that Anthony Davis got injured. So that was the game that they played on February 17th. Mind you, today is March 15th. So they won that game. Since the All-Star break, the Lakers have played 10 games. 10. Of the 10 games that the Lakers have played, they have won 2 games. One of those wins came against the Golden State Warriors, where LeBron James scored 56 points. I think it was a weekend game. And the second win they got was the game he scored, I believe it was 50 points against the Washington Wizards. So that's the unthinkable stat. But there's more, because remember, the title is why LeBron should basically be pissed off at Russell Westbrook. So I want to take it a step further, and this is the reason why so many people do not have any sympathy for Russell Westbrook whatsoever. I'm going to get into some stats that you rarely hear people talk about. I want to get into some season splits, right? People don't really talk about season splits. What are season splits? Season splits are basically when you you siphon off the season into different segments, and you can go from a month-to-month basis. You can go from home game, road games, home game, road games on this month, etc., etc., etc. Essentially, what I want to focus on is Russell Westbrook's season splits from month to month, and we're going to juxtapose those numbers with his co-star, who's about 4 or 5 years older than him, a 37-year-old, and I'm going to show you exactly why LeBron James should be pissed off at Russell Westbrook. Let me give you guys his season splits. Let's get into Russell Westbrook's stats quickly. Let me give you guys his stats in the months. In October, Russell Westbrook was averaging 18 points per game for the Lakers. He was shooting 44% from the field, 25% from the three-point line, shooting 47.8% from the free throw line. That was Westbrook in October. In November, 17 again, free throw shooting improved to 72%, three-point shooting went up to 33%. Then we moved to this year. In January, Russell Westbrook was averaging, get this, he was averaging 18. Then November, he was averaging 28.1. January, he was averaging 17.3 points per game. He was shooting 41.6% in January, 29% from the three and 75% from the free throw line. In the month of February, Russell Westbrook averaged 13.9 points. He shot 36% from the field. Get this. He shot a whopping 16.7% from the three and 62% from the free throw line. And in the month of March, remember we're talking about that period between March and February and March, he's scoring 16 points per game. He's shooting 41% from the field. Get this, 11% from three and 68% from the free throw line. Those are Russell Westbrook's numbers on a month-to-month basis. I'm beginning to look like Shannon Sharp here. Let me get into LeBron's season splits. We're only going to focus on his numbers from January. And you're going to see something quite alarming. Let me get into LeBron's stats here. In the month of January, remember this guy's 37 years old, and LeBron is not my favorite player by any stretch whatsoever. So I'm not sitting here trying to cuddle up to the guy. In the month of January, remember this guy's 37 years old. He averaged, get this, 30 points per game. He shot 51.6% from the field, 30% from the three, 73% from the free throw line. That's January. February, he averaged 28.3 points per game, 50.6% from the field, 33% from the three-point line, 74%. So he actually did better the following month. In March, LeBron is scoring 34.6 points per game. He's shooting 54% from the field, 42.9% from the three, and is shooting 80% from the free throw line. Essentially, what that contrast tells you is that Russell Westbrook has been no help whatsoever. He's a walking disaster for the Lakers. That's what he is. This is a guy that is slated to get paid $47 million next year. This is legal robbery. Please help me understand why you deserve a salary that high when you're not producing whatsoever. And this is the problem with some NBA contracts, because they pay you in the future for the expected value you provide. But when you have a scenario like this, where a guy is on the decline and his salary is on the incline, the access point where they meet is somewhere at the bottom, whereas it should be somewhere up here. Westbrook has been doing absolutely, positively nothing. And to make matters worse, I'm so pissed off because I just discovered these stats. To make matters worse, this guy has been totally dismissive with the media and defiant with fans. You heard him. I ain't taking no more on me. They take on with them. You be wondering, does Russell Westbrook think before he talks? Seriously. How can you have such an attitude when you're playing like garbage? This is why Laker fans should be pissed off. This guy is doing nothing. Nathan. Nada. Niente. Nil. He's been a disaster. And for those people saying that Russell Westbrook gives you 150% every he lays it all on the line, how the hell does Russell Westbrook give you 150% when he plays no defense? Is all your effort just on offense? Westbrook plays no defense. He's the first line of defense at the point guard spot, and he's usually the one they're breaking down like an equation in a freaking math class. It's usually him. This dude has been a disaster. Has it been all him? Hell no. But for somebody getting ready to earn $50 million, bro, you ain't earning it. You ain't earning it. Makes no sense. There are other athletes in other sports that are delivering. You know, I watch Formula One. Dudes are putting their life on the line. Sometimes you can get into car. Dudes are getting paid $20 million. You got a dude out here earning $50 million. It's not producing. All he has is an attitude with the media. That's it. LeBron should be pissed. Now I understand why Laker fans should be, Shannon Sharp is always upset with Russell. This guy's doing nothing. This year, he's doing nothing.